It's first in, first out dispatch here. We don't play favorites. But if you're interested, I like scotch. We'll have a good load waiting for you when you get back. As long as you've remembered that bottle of scotch. Many drivers will have dispatchers that like to use the phrase, "do me a favor." And one thing is for certain, it's never a good thing for the driver. Now these favors can come in many different forms. It can be spending the afternoon shunting trailers in the yard for free. Or it can be doing a local delivery that takes hours and hours and you don't get paid for. Or it can be doing an LTL pedal run in the projects or the Bronx. Or it could be just sitting at some customers all afternoon trying to preload a trailer and not making anything out of it. But the whole thing is, they've all got something in common. All these favors have something in common. They generally pay the driver little or nothing. So later on, when some drivers graduate to buying their own trucks and becoming owner-operators, they think, well, there's one thing I won't have to do anymore is these favors, because now I own the truck, I'm the boss, I'm in charge of the equipment. But you know what? It doesn't work that way, and they'll still catch you. They'll say, while we're loading your trailer, can you take this trailer over and deliver it while you're waiting? And you go, oh, sure. And then you look up the address, it's across town, it's rush hour traffic, and that little favor is going to take you about 2.5 or 3 hours. I got caught on that a couple of times myself, I have to admit. So drivers, if they have a dispatcher like this, tend to develop little defensive mechanisms or systems, and they'll learn not to hang around the yard. They'll go hide at a shopping mall or something, or they'll cover their Qualcomm antenna in tinfoil and park underneath an overpass. Or lots of them just shut off their phones. But the idea is here that time between loads is meant for you to recover, relax, rest, and maybe go do something you want. It's not to do free work for the company. So after a while, drivers learn to develop phrases. When they're asked to do a favor, they'll say, "What does that pay?" Or "I could do that for $800 or something like that. And then the dispatcher will learn that you're not going to be taken for free. Now, be advised, dispatchers don't like to be told no, and some of them may take revenge out on you at a later date. They may, if you turn down the favor, they may give you crap loads for the rest of the month. That's just how the game works. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and you've just got to decide which is the lesser of the two evils. To do the favor first, and just hopefully get good loads after that, or just turn down the favor and suffer the consequences. Either way, it's kind of a no-win deal. The bottom line is, you don't want to be doing stuff for free, and you don't want to be doing anything that's illegal either. And it's not unusual for Canadian dispatchers to ask Canadian drivers when they're in the States to move trailers point to point down in the States. And that is illegal. That's called cabotage or interstating. So drivers don't want to be doing favors like that or running an overweight load or something like that. So those are favors you don't want to get involved in. Bottom line is, you're there to make money, not do free work for a carrier that already has more money than you. Now, I've got a little story about a friend of mine that I used to work with years ago. His name was Mikey. He had his own truck and his own trailer, and it was a big, long, fast truck. It was a beautiful truck, but he liked to run LA. And one day the dispatch called him in and said, "We need you to do us a favor. We've got a pedal dropper in the bay." And Mikey hated going to the bay, which is San Francisco, and he hated doing pedal runs up in the bay because he had a big long truck. It's tough to get around in those narrow little streets, and he wasn't too excited about going. And they literally forced him into it. And I can't remember how they did it, but Mikey left loaded from the yard with kind of a bad attitude. And partway out to the bay, he encountered a truck show. Well, Mikey loved truck shows. So he took a couple days off and checked out the truck show and had a good time and enjoyed himself. And then, still not being too enthusiastic, sauntered off the rest of the way to the bay. And he had 4 or 5 drops on the tail end of the trailer, and the bulk of the load was on the nose. So he kind of took his time. He did a drop or 2 a day, didn't work into a big sweat, wasn't too happy about it, but got all the little stuff off. And the stuff on the nose, the majority of the freight was going to the pier. Well,
by the time Mikey got to the pier, the boat that was supposed to take that freight had already sailed. And he didn't care. He kicked off the freight, but the company, the carrier, was some mad because the revenue from that freight would have paid the bulk of the trip. So Mikey got the axe when he got home, and after that we all like to say that Mikey missed the boat. Take care, keep the rubber side down. Make sure you know that you're at work to make money, not to work for free and do favors. I'll see you on the backhaul.